Hey guys, it's Rich with video number 8 of the Christo-Pagan series. In this video, we're talking about centering. If you haven't watched last week's video, it can be found here. It is on grounding. I also found out that YouTube didn't put this in my feed, but Kara, aka QWitch772, also did a video on grounding a week before I did mine, and that can be found here. She gives a couple different viewpoints on grounding and a little bit on centering and different techniques that she uses. So if you'd like to go over to her channel and see those videos, go ahead and click here. But this week we're talking about centering. So what is centering? And that's a very complicated answer. Like grounding, it's touched on in a lot of metaphysical books, but there's not really an in-depth look at what centering is. For me, I have multiple definitions on what centering is. One definition for me is the cutting off of the energies that I'm putting out. And by that, I mean I cut off energies that I'm putting out towards work, the focus towards family, the focus towards the blog, towards anything that I have going on in my life. It's the cutting off of those energies and bringing them in so I can reevaluate where my energy is being spent, where my focus is being put. And then, after examining all that, grounding and pulling up the energy, I can also then redirect my focus and make sure that I'm focusing on things that really need to be focused on. So in essence, if, say, I was focusing on my relationship to a coworker that's not so great, I can cut that energy off, bring it in towards myself, examine, say, hey, I don't need to be focusing on that, I'm grounding that energy, or I'm going to redirect that energy to something that's actually going to be more beneficial towards something else. Transmuting that energy into something a little bit more positive so I can redirect it towards something that actually needs my attention, such as sending healing energy to a family member or a friend. So for me, centering is about examining energy. It's about cutting off those energy ties that I have out there, examining them, and then going ahead and sending them back out as needed. Centering for me is also about bringing in my auric field. Sometimes you feel stagnant, sometimes you don't feel all that great, you kind of feel sluggish. Well, some of that is reflected in your auric field, and I'm going to probably talk more on this in a Wellness Wednesday video. But I bring in those auric energies, I bring them in, I center them like right in what I would consider the center of my body. I pull them in, I kind of re-jostle them around, and then I expand them back out. So I feel better, I feel more alive, I feel more energetic in a sense. So that's another definition for what centering is for me. Another definition that I have is about balance. It's about connecting with the energies of the elements, being balanced between the north, east, south, west, being in the center of all of those, also being in the center of the as above, so below. So basically, the sphere of the elements and the as above, so below, I'm in that ball, I'm centered within all of those, and I can interact with all of those elemental energies and all of those aspects in any way that I need. So those are just a few of the definitions that I have. And there's a lot out there on centering and what it really means. And you may have a different definition. If you do, go ahead and leave that in the bottom bar in the comments section below. I'd love to hear what your definition for centering is. But I really want to talk about how do we center. Of course, one way that I center is through meditation. I actually do it both with grounding and centering at the same time. Some people, they center before they ground, and some people center after they ground. So it's really finding out what works best for you, or what techniques work best for you. Whenever I'm in my meditative state, I visualize all these energies, all these connections that I have coming into myself, my auric field coming in, the elements being balanced around me, and then I ground that energy if it's a little too energetic, or if I need to focus more energy on something, I pull up that energy whenever I do my grounding. And then I expand that back out to where it needs to go. This can be done for spell work as well. Another way that you can center is through yoga and Tai Chi. Now, I'm not an expert on yoga and Tai Chi. I've tried both a little bit, and I've done yoga a lot more than Tai Chi, so I'll cover that in the Wellness Wednesdays video, but as you'll see in there, I'm not really that good at it, so hopefully you guys come at me with kid gloves on that one. I try my best, but yeah. Anywho, back to centering. So you can do Tai Chi and yoga for centering. But that's not really for me. And it might be for you. If it is, great. If not, then maybe something else. Another way that you can center is through labyrinths. Whether you walk labyrinths or you use a finger labyrinth, I have not walked a labyrinth yet, but I have done finger labyrinths. And you can print these off online and use the printed versions as labyrinths for yourself. The one that I particularly like is the St. Omer Labyrinth. I do like the Cartesian one, but the St. Omer Labyrinth is a little bit more complicated to go through, and it kind of puts me in that meditative state a little bit more, centers me more, and then whenever I'm in the center of that labyrinth, I ground. I pull up energy as needed. I examine where my energy was focused. And then as I go outside of the labyrinth, as I bring my finger outside of the labyrinth, I reconnect with things that need my focus. So labyrinths are a great way of centering, examining, grounding, and reconnecting with things around you. So these are just a few techniques that work well for me. If you have other techniques that work well for you, please share them in the comments below. Next week we're going to be talking about elemental energies and how we can connect with those elemental energies that I mentioned before. In the meantime, if you'd like to read an article that I wrote on centering, go ahead and go to Christo-Paganism.com. If you're not subscribed to me, go ahead and click subscribe right above my head. And if you'd like to stalk me on Twitter, go ahead and do that here. Until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.